The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. To Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. You hear the sound. Please give me the strength to stand today. With my eyes towards the east, show me the way. Place my feet, Lord God, my path, show me the way to Zion. I opened up the book and see that the apple of your eye included me. Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. We're the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church here with your weekly Sabbath lesson. All praises be to the Most High, the God of Israel. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let me see who we have here. Blessings, Teresa. Blessings, Laya. How are you? Blessings to the brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. Daphne, how you doing? Humbleness. We have all the usual saints. Devante, how are you? How are you? Shalom, Devante. How you doing, Tamara? Shalom, shalom, shalom. We're the elders of the Gathered of Christ Church here with a weekly broadcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Send this particular lesson to everyone you know. Now, whether or not they'll listen is a whole nother thing, but at least by sending these videos, the Most High can allow through the Spirit of the Almighty to plant a seed in those we seek to heal, help, where the Most High can actually lead the children of Israel through this help out of Babylon. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. Shabbat Shalom. Before I go in, and yes, we have a serious lesson today. The Secret War of Babylon is the title. The Secret War of Babylon. See, there's nothing worse than a warfare or being attacked without understanding why. What are the signs of when you're getting attacked? Spiritual and otherwise. We're going to talk about that in this particular lesson. Why are we inundated every election season? We're inundated with political programming. Folks, what's the symbolism in it all? That and more will be uncovered in this particular lesson. The racial war, the secret racial war of Babylon. Hit the like button. Now, before jumping in, brothers and sisters, I would be amiss if I didn't mention that tomorrow begins a new installment of our Hebrew and Bible Academy. And all praises be to the Most High, all those who work behind the scenes to make this possible. We have a brand new Hebrew and Bible Academy studio. Thanks to your support and all you do to actually support this. We have the news room. We also have the classroom, as well as, the whiteboard for more interaction for your Hebrew and Bible Academy. So, hey, tomorrow begins a new chapter in our Hebrew and Bible Academy. And thanks to you all, it's possible because your support, your enrollments have allowed us to expand this to a degree where we can now broadcast on a higher professional level. Okay, as this church grow internationally, so does what? The quality. And none of that would be possible without your support. So I would like to say a humble thank you. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. After I leave here a little late at night, I'm going to be there making sure all the kinks are worked out. But we have a new studio for the Hebrew and Bible Academy tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Now, the theme for the Academy, the Most High blessed us with the insight to go into the unfolding the seals of the apocalypse, Revelation 6 and more. But what we're going to be doing is showing the end from the beginning. Every lesson will have an apocalyptic understanding to how it all unfolds, leading to the consummation, leading to the kingdom of God. And that will be the theme for this particular academy, which starts tomorrow, 9 a.m. Okay, brand new lessons in this academy. The creation of the universe, declaring the end from the beginning. Folks, the whole script from heaven was written. It was written how things would begin all the way to the ending. Now, that a lot of those mysteries were hid within the Godhead. Not even the original celestials understood everything who were created. the Father, Son, Holy Spirit had the whole script written of what life would be down here, leading to the kingdom that was intended from the beginning. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. The whole script was written. Okay? Everything was written before the celestials under Christ. The Word created the celestials. The beginning and the end. Which leads some people to ask, well, what's up? Is it predestination? No, it has nothing to do with that. The script is written. But the whole thing is the Most High gave us free will or choice so that we would be on one side of a judgment or the other. So it's not as if you were born in the earth and you were predestined to go to hell. No, it wasn't that way. The scriptures had a general understanding of what would happen for a certain number of jubilees. Now, your action to the earth plays out to what side, the dark side or the light side, one would fall on. So he didn't individually say, well, this person would do this on the earth, and because of that, they'll go to hell. It wasn't that way. The script was written that there will be millions of people in the earth, and there'll be choices. And those who choose the Almighty will receive the kingdom that was intended from the beginning, without going into minute details on each individual. Now, when he sent spirits in the earth, those spirits had free choice on whether or not they would fall on the dark side of the narrative that was written from the beginning or the light side, declaring the end from the beginning. We're going to talk about it because even the angels didn't know everything from the beginning. So the mysteries that have been hid for ages and for generations are now being made manifest to his saints. The angels didn't know the full script. Right? It's all about choices. And we're going to talk about that in this Hebrew and Bible Academy. And like I said, we're going to teach this thing like it's our last academy. So you better be a part of it. All right. Now, we're going to also go into the final judgment of evil. The final judgment of evil. What happens? What happens down there? Okay. Well, the greatest, when I say down here I'm talking about the judgment, which is Hades or hell. That's not just a biblical concept, folks. When you go into the religions amongst the ancient Mesopotamia area, they talked about the underworld, the place where their ancestors resided. You got a volume on? I hear your volume. Huh? There's some humming there? I don't know why. Okay, is this clear or something is wrong there? Someone says there's some humming? There's a noise? I'm asking you all, is it clear or is there a noise there? Before I go forward. Someone says there's a humming noise? Yes? No? Do you hear something? Yes. That's interesting. Let me ask you all that. Is there a noise out there? Let me try this. Okay. Okay, it's clear now. All right. Okay, it's clear now. Okay. All right. I don't know. Maybe the microphone was a little closer to the computer. All right. Yeah. So going back right in, the final judgment of evil. Okay. Now, when we discuss the final judgment of evil, most people out there believe that hell is a concept. Well, the greatest trick Satan ever played on humanity is having people believe that he never existed. Okay? If there's no hell, then there's no judgment for those who are destined to go there. Right? So the whole deal is Satan had to put out a concept, all right, that would make people question the judgment, knowing his judgment when he was kicked out of the heavenly realm. So how did he trick mankind into following him? Well, making the world believe that he was God and that there's really no judgment, that all things are subjective, that God loves you just the way you are, whether it be a sinner or a saint. All right? So Satan, greatest trick, was making the world believe he never existed. And guess what? But when you look in all of the historical, not just their religions, but the history of these Gentile nations, the ancient history, it was a connection to the underworld. Well, the Bible quantifies that, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the academy. We're going to discuss the final judgment of evil. What's down there? How did it get there? And how will the Most High dispose of it in the academy? Right? The return of the diaspora. What we're going to go into is not just the Israelites who were scattered in the Americas, North, Central, and South America. We're going to show you the Israelites that were expelled from Europe. The expulsion of Spain, Portugal. These were all black people. There was no white Jews expelled from Spain. That's nowhere in history. Okay, so we have to get that out of the way because that's being used as a political football to claim that people were persecuted for years, thereby have a right to the homeland, and using what happened to us, what they did to us, as a political football to gain sympathy, power, and traction towards taking Jerusalem. And when I say taking Jerusalem, I'm talking about the crisis prophecy of taking Jerusalem, not the homeland, but eventually destroying God's people. The return of the diaspora, we're back. The judgment of modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, the kingdom of God, and I'm going to also go into the exposing in our Christian lesson. I'll be going into exposing the Jesuits, and with that, I'm going to expose Moloch child sacrifice. Does that have anything? Is there any correlation between child sacrifice, Jesuits, the Catholic Church, and Moloch? And I'll tell you what, today's lesson, we're going to touch a little bit on the spirit that you can recognize in the earth when it comes to any religion, where really, the underlying spirit of these particular religions is the targeting of children, the total annihilation of children. And I'm going to go into that in the academy, okay? That and more. I have other lessons. I got new lessons that's not announced yet because we're still putting some of those programs together. But in the academy, we send you the PDFs. We send you everything. And tomorrow begins a new chapter for this academy. And brothers and sisters, I hope you are there. Go to historytimes.org. We have expanded the enrollment, or we've extended the enrollment past the second. So if you haven't enrolled already yesterday, it's fine. We've extended it. Go to historytimes.org, enroll, help the work, help us help you. Okay? And we have people working overtime to make sure that you'll get in by 9 a.m. tomorrow. All right. Now, it's time. So, Elder Yurok, so I assume the humming is done, right?
Some people say it's still going, but I think it's maybe the headphones or something. Maybe, I don't know. Like you can hear it more. You know what I mean? When you have headphones, maybe.
Okay, well, before I go in, someone says I still hear humming. Let me see something here. You know what it could be? Someone says they still hear humming. Let me try something. Okay, there shouldn't be any humming now. Everything should be clear now. And I got I done turned off all the extra things around here. No, I needed to be all clear before I go into this lesson. 100% clear. Right? Okay. Well, some people saying they don't hear anything. So if it's humming on your side, then you have to fix that. Okay? Now, let's go in. What about you? Why don't you listen and see if you hear anything real quick? All right. Okay, Malak said the sound is perfect. Okay. All right, great. Okay, good. We're fine. Because what I didn't want any issues going into this lesson today. Some people ask, what's going on politically with these politicians who are selected, not elected? Right? Well, they give you a choice of these people who come out of nowhere, like Kamala. Well, is there a spiritual undertone connected to these particular elected officials? Right? Now, I'm not going to talk about them in particular. What we're going to I'm going to pull out a few things on them. But all in all, we're going to give you the overall biblical perspective today with this lesson. The secret war of Babylon. Well, a lot of our people in the earth, or people in general, don't understand how Satan has always waged war through the power construct. Okay? A divide and conquer type of spirit. A lot of people don't even recognize when they're being attacked, whether it be through sorcery. When I say sorcery, the word pharmakeia in the book of Revelation, pharmakeia, pharmacy, is sorcery in the Greek language. So a lot of people don't even know how they're being destroyed indirectly through pharmakeia, whether it be legalized pharmakeia or what they would deem illegal pharmakeia. Right? None of us understand that it's used as a secret form of warfare. Spiritual warfare. And then if we are being attacked through that warfare, how to heal through that, and after being healed, repent to war against these secret tactics used to destroy a particular people. Pharmakeia is one form of that. Divide and family, another form of that. Toppling the Godhead and or divine order is all a part of that. So they would need people who were a part of the ancient Babylonian rites and rituals elected in position to roll out the plan to destroy God's people. Listen to me and listen to me good. Hit the like button. We're going to unfold this today. The secret racial war of Babylon. Christ stated this in the book of Matthew, if you will. Elder Lawyer, let's go to the book of Matthew. Now, some people might claim and might make statements like, well, who cares what the Bible say? There's many religions. Who cares what Christ is saying concerning that? And you know why they minimize this, brothers and sisters? They minimize Christ's sight on or foresight on prophecy, because Christ hits the target. It takes away the ambiguity, the scales off your eyes, and lets you see everyone and everything for what it is. And this is why they attack Christ or try to minimize the Bible. There's no other record on earth, folks, that can actually geopolitically resolve everything we're seeing. Right? So let's go into this. The secret racial war of Babylon. Right? Elder Lawyer, if you will, let's go to Matthew 24.
Say Matthew 24, verse 1.
Yes?
And YASHAYA went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And YASHAYA said unto them, See ye not all these things?
See ye not all these things. Read.
Verily I say unto you, that there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Christ told the disciples, look at this great temple. There shall not be what? One stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, was it speaking of an actual temple? Absolutely. But Christ wasn't just speaking of just the temple. What is the fallout or the effects on the people who once worshiped in that temple? So unless you understand this, you'll never understand the why there's racism and all this in the earth, and attacks on a people who aren't harming anyone. Right? So it wasn't just the temple would be thrown down, which happened in 70 AD by the hands of the Romans. Also, what Christ was highlighting was what? The domino effect. The effect of the people who once depended on this temple in connection to their God. Right? So he wasn't just highlighting a physical building. Well, what of the people? If we don't have a place of our own, then eventually we would begin to seek God where? One would begin to seek God through the Gentiles' temples. Now, listen to what I'm showing you here. Through the Gentile temples. If we don't have a temple of our own, and we lost our temple in 70 AD, in 70 AD, hurled into the wilderness, seeking for our God with no temple of our own, then eventually these same people would do what? We would seek the Edomites or the white people to find our God, since they have temples called churches or what have you. We would go through them seeking our God. Edomites, we would go through Ishmaelites, Arabs, seeking our God through their mosques. See, no temple. We would go through Asian religion like Buddhists, East Indian religions, seeking our God. Well, I wonder how these people worship. What's the difference between their worship and their worship? God must be here somewhere, right? We would go into African spirituality and things because we lost a temple. Right? Now, some people, the people over these temples, would use this for spiritual collateral and power. Because by going to these people to recognize and revere them as what? As the go-between you and God, they gain authority. Therefore, our people would begin to serve these people. See, we would serve these people in exchange for what? The connection that was lost. And now we're putty in their hands. By losing the temple by default, our people went searching for the God that was lost. Right? So Christ said what? Let's go back again.
Yes, sir. Matthew 24, verse 2.
Come on.
And YASHAYA said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
That shall not be thrown down. Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. You're going to lose Jerusalem. This is what Christ was warning the disciples about. What was written in Daniel is about to happen. And Christ was telling them, I have to be sacrificed in this empire so that the Holy Spirit can find my people who are looking for me in the future. I must be sacrificed, as was written in the Old Testament. And through that, the Holy Spirit will find my people who are scattered. And the doctrine that I'm giving you is the key doctrine that can pull my people out of these Gentile ideologies which have always destroyed them. And we're going to talk about this. And this is what it is. When our people begin to wake up, right? The Gentiles will begin to rally together to what? To sustain the power given them by the God of this world. Folks, this is the time we're living in now. So when you see all the prophecies that Christ talked about, one must understand how the world are politically implementing policy that leads to the conflict. See? Because why? Now Christ is giving signs of the end. Well, why are these signs coming one after the other? Now, because they could no longer control us through the temples that have deceived us, that have always misdirected us. So the more our people began to awaken to the truth that we're Israel, the higher the attacks and the conspiracy against the true children of Israel. Right? So this is where politics come in. Right? Read on.
3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying,
Saying what?
Tell us.
Tell us.
When shall these things be?
When shall these things be?
And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
And of the end of the world. And when the Bible states the end of the world, the earth is going to be here. It's talking about the end of the current empire during the disciples' time that were in power, that was in power. When will be the end of the Roman rule that will usher in our rule under Christ? That's what they were asking. Because who was controlling the world during the crisis time? The Romans. Who's controlling the world now? The Romans. See? I don't care what religion they are a part of. It doesn't matter if they put on a suit and call themselves Christians from the Vatican. They're Romans. It doesn't matter if they put a yarmulke on their head and call themselves another race based on the religion they follow, under Judaism. Doesn't matter. They're Romans. See? Romans rule the world. See how simple that is? So you can't come to me with your religion and try to relate to me politically about the oppression you have gone through and all that as a way of what? Of deception. Coming in to divide and conquer. Listen, I'm not here to hear about your personal plights and what happened between your people. I'm talking about what the Romans and your people have done against our people. See? And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. And he says, give us a sign of your coming and of the end of the world. Now, the closer we get to Christ's coming, the less control the world have over us. So this is why a lot of these prophecies are going to come one after the other, because they're doing everything to keep us under servitude, to keep us under their control. Right? And when our people start leaving their religions en masse, and it's happening now, they're losing their spiritual force, they will invoke war at the very end. When they can no longer control us spiritually, then the gloves come off and they'll show you what they've always thought about us. They'd rather us voluntarily yield our spirit to them through religious control. They'd rather us do that. But once we begin to leave the Christian churches, and it's happening, the mosque, and it's happening, I have people, brothers in jail, who are now converting those who were in Islam. Islam became a gang to protect others in jail. Our people are coming out of Islam. We're understanding that what they were using us to undermine us the whole time. See? For many shall come in my name. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Come on.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Now, these wars and rumors of wars, folks, is to consolidate and keep power, knowing that God's people are waking up. It's to bring in a new world order, to put NATO and all these troops under one military to oppose the awakening. This is what Christ was telling us. Listen, you're going to hear wars and rumors of wars. So obviously when he says wars and rumors of wars, he's speaking of wars against a specific people. He's speaking about us. We're looking at Palestine. We're looking at Israel, the current state of Israel, and not realizing that a lot of these wars is to consolidate power to create a military that will come against us, because there's resistance in these countries. A lot of these countries don't want to go to the final war. And Esau is like, well, no, you benefited from the fall of Israel too. You're coming into these wars. Because if you don't help us get rid of these people, he's coming back to save these people. And through that, all of our power is lost. This is how the Gentiles lose their power. There'll be no more presidents of other countries if you allow these people to live. There will be no more distributing gifts amongst each other, using their sons and daughters to serve our children. It ends if you don't join the alliance. Listen to what I'm telling you, folks. What is the alliance? Right now, let me tell you, there's a reason why Africa is systematically made, even though all their mineral resources and all that can actually feed the world. It's a reason why they want to allow Africa to rise out of third world status. It has nothing to do with some disease over there, which is a lie. It has everything to do with who these people are. So now our people are waking up over in Africa, over in different places. They were like, listen, we need to come together, because now, even though these people have no physical temple, they're no longer learning under us. They're connected to the heavenly temple. So we must wage war against them. So when Christ said wars and rumors of wars, it's deeper than the Palestinian-Israel war. We'll begin to realize that these people have been at war with us the whole time. And then we would begin to fight back, spiritual and otherwise. We're not going to go for the same old lies they've been giving us before. We will begin to speak up and fight back. And see, and that's a component that most people are ignoring. They're just looking at the wars that are created by Rome, by the media, while ignoring the true war that the children of Israel, our people, have been under since we lost Jerusalem. So the wars and rumors of wars, people are focused on all these narratives and not realizing Christ was talking about the wars that are being waged against our people, and the fact that our people in Christ would begin to fight back. Okay? Listen what I'm showing you here. So we're not talking about a general sense. Okay, I hear about a war happening in Iran. I'm hearing about a war, the Palestine. That's why they promote. It's the Zionist news that promotes Israel and Palestine as something that we need to focus on. Listen to this. But they're not giving you the true narrative. That all of these wars is to keep and consolidate power and control over us until they got an opportunity to get rid of our people altogether. Sustainability and what they're talking about concerning global warming and all these others is really a what? It's really a political football that's being used to justify them ridding the earth of Israelites, of God's people, to justify them getting rid of people with no pushback. That's a war. For many shall what?
It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And when it says many, folks, I usually highlight and point out the fact that there's Christians who will be coming in his name and shall deceive many. But guess what, folks? It's way deeper than this. Christians will come in the name of Christ, but really they're pushing ancient paganism, witchcraft, sorcery, evil. Right? But then you have, believe it or not, every other religion on earth uses Christ to some degree as a talking point in convincing us to believe in their sorcery, their ideology. They'll always pivot off of Christ to lead you into their darkness, knowing that our people predominantly believe, love, and have faith in Christ. So they'll always use Christ. I don't care if it's a Buddhist. I don't care if it's a Hindu. I don't care if it's a Christian. They'll always use Christ as a talking point, a deceptive talking point to lead us out of the protection of Christ. They'll use concepts. They'll use philosophy. They'll always use Christ's name to lure us out, knowing that our people trust in him. And I'm going to show some examples of that today. So they'll use Christ, but really, they hate Christ. An example I can give you is Muslims, when they come into a Christian territory, seeking to take us down spiritually, they'll always come pandering, claiming, oh yeah, Christ was a prophet. There was many prophets. Then they'll throw in Muhammad. Okay, which is straight disrespect. Oh yeah, Muhammad was prophesied in the Old Testament. Muhammad, it was prophesied that a new prophet would come like unto Moses. That's Muhammad. Straight disrespecting Christ. Playing on our people's ignorance when it comes to what? The Bible's narrative concerning Hebrew prophecy. So they'll come in, oh yeah, Muhammad was the prophet that Moses spoke about, showing you that they detest Christ. They'll use Christ's prophecy and switch it out with Moses, and then teach that stuff in our neighborhoods who were generally those who believe in the Bible and Christ. See how they use Christ? Many shall come in my name and say that I'm down with Christ, but they're really leading you to the pits of hell. And they did this also with who? With Buddhists, with Hindus. The Christ consciousness. See? That's garbage. There's no Christ consciousness. Either you're down with Christ in the Bible or you're not. Unless you're going to be down with Christ the whole way, including his doctrine, I don't want to hear your philosophical points on how Christ adds to your particular religion when you are worshiping Satan. Let's read it.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Come on.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
And then he goes to the disciples, then he says, see that ye be not troubled, giving you what? Give you an understanding to the people he's talking about, who the wars are being waged against. Right? Don't be troubled. Don't be troubled, because guess what? You're going to wake up and realize you're in a war. And guess what? And at that point, there's a choice to make. Either you're going to be protected by the heavens or get taken in the war. Because all these wars out here, folks, is really about who's going to control the children of Israel who are now in servitude. That's what it's about. It's about power, control over God's people, using our spiritual gifts for themselves, using that spiritual power the Most High given us to create for themselves. That's all it's about. And to be able to hand that power from their religious sages and all that, and through their families, down to their children, so that their children can get an opportunity to know what it is. To know what it is, folks. To worship them as gods. To worship them as gods. Right? And it says what?
For nation shall rise against nation.
Well, nation, that's race against race, folks. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
All these are aimed towards destroying our people, folks. As the awakening, as Christ come closer to the end, they're going to use global warming and all these things. As you can see, pestilence, famines, all this links directly to what we see in global warming. Earthquakes, all these others, weather warfare. And it's really putting the spirit on them to draft laws and get away with things against us that they normally wouldn't have the power to do so. See? They can draft laws now based on this global warming stuff and now indirectly destroy our people. Famines, all of this. And Christ says these are the beginning of sorrows. Now that we understand the war, right? How can we recognize the tactics of war? Well, go back in the past, 70 AD. They laid a trench around us for those who couldn't escape and killed those that were left in Jerusalem once the temple was sacked and destroyed. So how do we recognize a trench currently that isn't physical, it's spiritual? And that's what we're recognizing right now. When they say border openings, it's not border openings at all. Okay? Folks, it's a trench. Under the guise of border opening. These people that are being moved in strategically into where we live, folks, this particular legislation is being pushed from the top. There's nothing that an American can do about this. There's nothing that a president can do about this. It happened before. It happened before. When all of the nations were there at the Tower of Babel. See? Under one religion against the God of Abraham and Abraham's people. They were marching around and building the Tower of Babel. They were all together. See? So now we have to understand, they know we're smart enough and we're so large in number. The Bible says Israel is the sand of the sea. They cannot physically oppose us without us banding together, all together, and totally stomping them down. Okay? So they can't wage physical war against us. They'll lose immediately. And I'm going to tell you all this, folks, and here's the truth. If they tried to come against our people physically, don't be shocked. This might surprise you. Even the white Christians would join in to protect us. The white Christians would join in and fight with us. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what I'm recognizing. And they've recognized it before us. That what we see going on in immigration, folks, it's a direct attack on not just God's people, but Christ himself. They are intentionally moving in non-Christians in numbers, Muslims and Hindus and all that. I'm going to tell you. So they can't physically oppose us. Because even folks, I'm going to tell you, folks, there's a lot of white people sitting back saying, you know what? What they're saying is correct. And you will never hear from them. Believe it or not, they're listening to these videos right now, totally silent, have been following the truth for years, but yet said nothing at all. Don't be surprised that after me saying this in the spirit on the Sabbath, somebody may call in a week from now and say, listen, remember, Elder, when you were talking about some white people listening? I was in that broadcast. I heard what you're saying, and it really spurned something in me to actually call out and tell you the truth and talk to your people. Folks, this is a spiritual warfare. And you know what? I don't want to go too far off the beaten path, but when it says nation against nation, a lot of these nations know now, and it cannot be hid, that in fact the people who are enslaved in America and different parts of the West Indians, the West Indian Islands, and different parts of the earth, and folks, make no bones about it. Africans in Africa were and are enslaved. When you cannot take full advantage of the own resources you are actually walking on. And then you're tasked to mine all of the mineral resources out for other people to benefit from. That's slavery. That's servitude. Okay? The Bible states these are the beginning of sorrows. Let's talk about when Christ says they shall put a trench around us. Let's go there real quick. Real quick. Let's go to Isaiah. We're going to go to, Luke 19. Excuse me. Hit the like button for me, folks. We're diving in. Luke 19. And let's start at 41 here.
Yes, sir. St. Luke 19 and 41.
Come on.
And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, If thou hadst known, even thou in the least, this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now are they hid from thine eyes.
Now are they hid from thine eyes. Read.
For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee.
The enemy shall cast a trench about thee. Casting a trench, folks, is a circle. It's people pressing up against us, leaving us with no way out. So they're not going to do it like they did in 70 AD, but they're doing it now through legislation. Right? Think about this. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemy shall cast a trench about thee. Now, it physically happened in 70 AD where they actually locked down all of the areas our people could escape through. The Palestinians, who are parts of Moab and Ammon, they were a part of it. The Romans, the Edomites, the Arabs were a part of this. And folks, even the East Indians were a part of this. All of them were in cahoots to make sure that our people couldn't escape the black man Judah in Israel in 70 AD. And guess what? Those of us who couldn't escape, the Most High still found favor on us. They threw us in the arenas. We became the gladiators. We became generals in their army. They still couldn't stop us from excelling to a point where we splintered Rome in two parts. So the same way they couldn't, folks, the same way they couldn't totally destroy us back then, the Most High is not going to allow them to do it this time. Because even our people, our brothers and sisters who were caught and didn't listen, we still excelled. We still excelled. See? We became the gladiators and we fought our way in the arenas. We fought our way into power. See? Eventually, Septimius Severus, Pescennius Niger, black, two Roman generals, we end up revolting, and this is where what? This is where the kingship of Judah reigned in Europe against the Vatican. In 193 AD, we rebel. We split Rome. See? We split it. We took our parts. We became the kings and black nobility in Ireland, Scotland, all of Great Britain, and England. See? So even though they came against us, the Most High still found favor in us. Christ still found us and protected us to a point where we rose even above the people who seek to destroy us. And this is what they fear, folks. Folks, think about this, folks. Think about this. This is why they're coming against us now and setting a new trench against us. Our forefathers came over here with nothing, served in slavery. You're talking about only about 200 something years when you look at the math on it. And this is why they're so upset. Think about this. They had a 200 to 300 year head start. And the median income between a black man and a white man in America is only $10,000. This is the nations we're doing all these political things to keep them down, and these people just keep coming. We can't stop them. And if we don't put any political pitfalls in place, they'll excel above us. The Most High have always been with us. But it's a shame that we can't be down with him in number as a people and show the care for him who have preserved us. It's a shame that we can't be down with him as a people in number like he have always been down with us. And I'm speaking about our God. It's a shame. All right? So what are they doing? They're politically setting a trench. It says, what? Elder Warrior, read that again?
Yes, sir. 43. For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side.
And keep thee in on every side. Control. Keep us still. And what better way to do that than to do what? Than to deprive our people of resources. To deprive our people of resources. Right? Now, I'm talking about the spiritual way they're doing it now. It's not about them cutting off and building something around us to destroy us. It's more so about what? Resource deprivation. To make it where our people wouldn't have the resources to move or to get out of their current conditions, while pressing us on every side with the enemy. With the enemy. Folks, I seen a video this morning and, I almost fell off my chair. I woke up this morning, I'm like, let me get this together to break down the secret racial war against our people. And it came to me in the morning. There's a secret race war against Israel. And it made me look at this war and rumors of war from an entirely different angle. Listen, I don't care about no war between Israel and Palestine. When are people going to focus on the continual war against us, against God's people? Because that's where the true prophecies are unfolding. Okay? That's what we should be focusing on. The pharmaceutical warfare against us, the psychological warfare against us, the religious warfare against us, and even the physical war against us once they get us behind closed doors. Okay? These are trenches against us. Now let's talk about it. Y'all doing a great job, brothers and sisters. Come on now. I'm about to go pull these videos out and everything else. And y'all know y'all wrong. We are about 1,000 likes down. I'm about to pull these videos out and everything else. And here it is. Y'all come on now. Hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. Come on now. We're going in today. We are going, yeah, you rock. Where's the love? So we're going in today. We're going to show you tactics of the enemy against our people. Now, I need y'all to check this out. Right? When we speak of ancient Babylon, all nations coming together. Revelation the 11th, Genesis the 11th chapter, where all races of people came together under Satan, Nimrod, who would be considered president at that time, if you want to look at it politically, to ban an army against God himself and use technology to get out in space to take Lucifer back to where? The sides of the north. They were all aligned against Abraham's religion, if you want to look at it that way. That means all of the religions were what? They were united. But it was really one religion before the tongues were split. Okay? For the sake of time, before I throw these videos out there, let me pull something out on the two Babylons here, if you will. 1 second. Where? Oh, to the left. Yeah. Let me pull something out on the two Babylons. And again, tomorrow begins a new academy, unfolding the seals of the apocalypse. I want to see you there. Enrollments are open. Go to historytimes.org. 3 months of serious teachings. All right. So let me pull it up here. One second, y'all. What is it working? One second, let me get this here.
What are you trying to pull up the two Babylon?
Yeah, but it won't allow this. It won't even right click.
Did you have a separate PDF thing for that?
No, it's okay. I'll get it. I'll get it. One moment. I'll pull it up. 1 second. One second. I have no time for all that. One second. I'll use this. All right, let's go. All right. All right, folks, hit the like button. Let's go in. Browser. Right here, right? Why it ain't working? The right click ain't working on here. All right. I know how to do it here. 1 second. The two Babylons. I'll just put it inside this. 1 second. The two Babylons. Let me do it this way. Stick with me here, folks. Stick with me here.
Recents.
See the two Babylons there?
Yeah, the third thing
Right there. Yeah, I'll put it here. Yeah. Thank you, Lloyd.
Yes, sir.
I'll put it here. And we're going to go to, what page is that?
30.
Page 30, okay. Page 30. Stick with me, folks. 1 second. It's 30?
Yeah, it's 30 in here. Chapter 2, section 2. Let me go to the table of contents here and see the exact page.
All right. 1 second, folks. I had to move it to someplace else because this thing ain't working right here. That's chapter 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, section 2.
All right. Right here. There it is. Thanks for bearing with us here. All right. Going into the spirit. 1 second. Going into the spirit of the Gentiles' satanic religion that would press upon God's people. Right? Elder Lloyd, if you will. Here's a record by Alexander Hislop called The Two Babylons. Okay? What I've done was I've superimposed this on the screen so you all can see it. What exactly were the Gentiles, or who and what was the core spirit of their worships? Right now, what are we talking about? The secret racial war of Babylon. How they would wage spiritual warfare against the children of Abraham. Well, it started at the Tower of Babel. How can you recognize the spiritual warfare? The secret warfare. Well, it's embedded within their religion. Okay? And it's also secretly understood amongst the elite through their symbolism. Okay? What this secret religion is and who these people are rivaling or coming against in the earth. Right? Now, let's go here real quick. The two Babylons. All right. Page 30, titled what? The Mother and Child. The mother and child are the key symbols for their secret religion. I need you to listen to this and listen to this clear. And folks, it's going to clear up to you. It's going to give you some insight on Barack Obama, the current Kamala Harris, all of that. If you go back to Babylon and understand the Trinity of Babylon, you'll understand who they have always spiritually weaponized against the children of Israel. Okay? Now let's read this. The mother and child, the original child. Now, most people ignorantly believe that the mother and child, Christians ignorantly believe this also, unfortunately, that the mother and child are Christ and Mary. But we're going to expose it all today. Christ and Mary have nothing to do with this. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
While this was the theory, the first persons in the Godhead was practically overlooked. As the great invisible, taking no immediate concern in human affairs, he was to be worshipped through silence alone.
He should be worshipped through what?
He was to be worshipped through silence alone.
Through silence alone.
That is...
Now, what are we talking about is the secret worships of the cult. The Babylon cult. What were they doing at the Tower of Babel? Hold on, Elder Lawyer. Let me get this.
I think 16.
What, 16? Mm-hmm. Excuse me, folks. This mouse is going haywire here. Okay, read it again.
It says, while this was the theory, the first person in the Godhead was practically overlooked. As the great invisible, taking no immediate concern in human affairs, he was to be worshipped through silence alone. That is, in point of fact, he was not worshipped by the multitude at all. The same thing is strikingly illustrated in India at this day.
It's strikingly illustrated in India this day. Now, what is strikingly familiar in India? Why all of a sudden we have Indians coming out of the woodworks everywhere right now? Why is that? Let me pull this up for you real quick. Finish reading.
Through Brahma, according to the sacred books, is the first person of the Hindu triad.
Is the first person of the Hindu triad. Who is it? Brahma. Brahma, these are God's worship. One second, Elder Lawyer. Mm-hmm. These are God's worshipped in India till this day, right now. Right? Read on.
It says, through Brahma, according to the sacred books, is the first person of the Hindu triad.
It's the first person of the Hindu triad. The first person of the Hindu triad. Now you're going to find out these were the ancient spirits worshipped in ancient Babylon. And I'm going to show you where Kamala comes in. What is it? It's the mother, the child. Read.
All right. It says, and the religion of Hindustan is called by his name.
Come on.
Yet he is never worshipped, and there is scarcely a single temple in all India now in existence of those that were formerly erected to his honor.
And there is what?
It says here, he is never worshipped, and there is scarcely a single temple in all India now in existence of those that were formerly erected to his honor.
To his honor, Brahma, read.
So also is it in those countries of Europe where the papal system is most completely developed.
Now, this is your connection between India and your Europeans who are worshiping the same deity currently under a different name. India is Brahma. See? But they switched it up under Christianity and made a new trinity. Read.
In papal Italy as travelers universally admit, except where the gospel has recently entered, all appearance of worshiping the King eternal and invisible is most extinct, while the mother and child are the grand objects of worship.
The mother and child are the grand objects of worship. No father. The mother and child is the symbol for Satan's secret religion. The mother and child. That's who should be the focus. No father. The mother and child. Why? Because in ancient Babylon, at the Tower of Babel, it was the worship of Semiramis and the child. Read.
Exactly so, in the latter respect, also was it in ancient Babylon. The Babylonians, in their popular religion, supremely worshipped a goddess mother and a son.
They supremely worship a goddess mother and a son. That's the secret symbol of those who fall under Satan's religion. And all of these are programmed to attack the children of promise, the children of Abraham, like it was in ancient times. Read.
The Babylonians in their popular religion supremely worshipped a goddess mother and a son who was represented in pictures and in images as an infant or child in his mother's arms.
Let's go here where it says, who was presented in what?
Who was represented in pictures and images as an infant or child in his mother's arms.
So you will see this symbol with the mother holding a child in its arms. Any religion in this earth that has this particular symbol are under Satan. And you're going to find out that this is connected to all Gentile religions. And secretly in plain sight, through Islam symbolism, by using the crescent moon. The crescent moon represents who? Represents the ancient goddess of Persia, the same woman. Come on.
It says,
From Babylon,
this worship of the mother and the child spread to the ends of the earth.
It spread it to the ends of the earth. Listen.
In Egypt, the mother and child were worshipped under the names of Isis and Osiris.
Isis and Osiris. Right? Read.
In India, even to this day, as Isi and Iswara.
Isi and Iswara.
In Asia, as Sybil and Dionysus.
In Asia, Sybil and Dionysus. Read.
In pagan Rome, as Fortuna and Jupiter Pior.
Before the fall of the Hebrews, their virgin mother and child was Fortuna and Jupiter. Read.
Or Jupiter the boy.
Jupiter the boy, the Yule child. Read.
In Greece, as Ceres, the great mother, with the babe at her breast.
Come on.
Or as Irene, the goddess of peace.
Come on.
With the boy Plutus in her arms. Even in Tibet, in China and Japan, the Jesuit missionaries were astonished to find the counterpart of Madonna and her child as devoutly worshipped as in papal Rome itself.
The Jesuits were surprised that when they went over to these countries, they were worshiping the same deities under different languages. This is how the Roman Catholic Church is able to unite all of these Babylonians, these ancient Babylonian Gentiles, in a religion that would press against the children of Israel in the last days. The nucleus of their core beliefs are the same at its nucleus. And all of them subconsciously are against God's people. So the only thing they have to do, Rome, Esau, is to send these people over who have that subconscious negative view against the children of Israel, against Christ, against the Bible, without telling them anything. Spiritually, these people opposes us. They don't even know why, to some degree. And a matter of fact, if they see this would teach them something, why they have this inherent hate for no reason at all when our people have done nothing against them. Read.
It says,
Xingmu,
the Holy Mother in China.
The Holy Mother in China is called Xingmu.
Being represented with a child in her arms and a glory around her, exactly as if a Roman Catholic artist had been employed to set her up.
You would think that the Romans were over there setting her up. But these are the secret symbols of those who are aligned against Christ. Anyone who worship the Madonna or worship woman and child is under this spirit against the chosen, against the Almighty. Now check this out. Check this out. It's going to blow y'all away here, folks. Check it out now. Right? So, when the Jesuits went into these different areas, you know, the Jesuits are we're going to talk about that in the academy, who the Jesuits are. They found this image. But instead of it being a European, the Hindus had this. Same image. Now I need y'all to check this out. How they subliminally, subconsciously lure our people under the control, which is spiritual warfare, and believing in the Babylonian deities. Last week I went into exposing the Queen Mother of Heaven to some degree, but we're going to have a whole lesson on that week 2 in the academy. Right? I need you to check out how they were able to bring that programming into the consciousness of our people for the same control. Spiritual control, which is spiritual warfare. Mother with child. Mother, this is how they got us. The same ideology. Mother with child. Messiah, Madonna. Subconsciously. Madonna with child. See this? Same ancient ideology that we should have seen, that this is warfare like it was in ancient times against the children of Abraham. Who do we got here? Okay. There's information out there that Barack Obama's mother was really a CIA asset. Whether or not that's true, I don't have the research, but there's information out there that would stake those claims. And there's some ambiguity when it comes to the information of exactly who was Obama's father from somewhere else. They claim Kenya. From Kenya, they claim that he was born in Hawaii. But yet he became the president of the United States out of nowhere. Or was it out of nowhere? People from someplace else under an ancient ideology, and guess what? We can explain what that ancient ideology is in a moment. Used politically in a position to endear us to a man as a Messiah or Savior for the people. Well, even till this day, no one can speak negative about him, even though his policy, or those who controlled him, policies, have totally decimated our people. You see how they subconsciously bring someone in place with a Jesus complex where there's some ambiguity on whether or not he had a father or who is his father, when really the father doesn't matter, right? It's really the worship of the Madonna and the destruction of man, who was actually created on earth Man was created on earth to destroy Satan, to judge Satan. So these are the symbols you should recognize when they bring someone forth without an authoritative father in position. It's the ancient symbology of that religion that rivaled Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob throughout ancient times. Right? So let's go here. We went from this, and what came out of this? This. When Newsweek had to report after his second administration, Newsweek said, and this was on the cover of Newsweek, I'm not saying this, the first gay president. Newsweek said that. Why? Because he would give them rights over the people of Israel. Over the people he secretly waged war against. Oh, y'all think that's something? Check this out. Remember we were talking about Brahmin? This is Kamala's mother, who came out of nowhere. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in California, but the child was raised in California. Kamala right here, 2 years old, was educated over in Canada until she went to college. She was groomed to go to college. Howard University after she was raised in Canada. Similar narratives. Raised someplace else only to be placed in position to spiritually infiltrate us. Right? Mother, child. Father, shrouded in ambiguity. Both raised Marxist. Okay? Obama, Marxist. Kamala, Marxist. A secret ideology that was actually created to destroy God's people in the very end. A trench. All right? Hit the like button, folks. We're going in. These people are selected, not elected. Okay? This is Kamala's family. Right? So let's go in now. What are we seeing here? Kamala and Baharavi. Kamala, the goddess, and Baharavi, the goddess. Ancient goddesses from India. Ancient goddess from India, folks. Now, what does it say about them? Check it out. From ancient Babylon, brothers and sisters, follow me. Kamala, which is East Indian, and the Baharavi. Kamala and Bhairavi are two of the 10 Madhivas of great manifestation of Diva, deified aspects of the goddess that range from pacific to what? Ferocious. They'll come off what? Passive, but yet deadly. On the left, four elements lustrate the goddess who was identified in a below label as Kamala. She holds lotuses in her two left hands, while her upper right is in the Abha Murdra reassurance, and her lower right in Avada Murdra boon given, she sits on a lotus, and in fact, her name means of the lotus. She's of the lotus, an epithet of the goddess Lakshmi. Kamala is a bringer of prosperity. But she's a bringer of prosperity for who? Fertility, which is the goddess Semiramis, and luck, all characteristics she shares with Lixma, a goddess that is also lustrated by elephants. Now the other woman, which is almost what you would call an alter ego or a negative mirror of Kamala, is the other goddess. The label Mahavita Bhairavi on the right holds a book of lower left hand and a mala in her upper right. The garland of skulls around her neck hints at the terrible nature of this goddess. Y'all don't see this, folks, but this goddess have a skull around her neck. The two goddesses, one that mirrors the darkness of Kamala. The ancient deities that were against our forefathers in the past, they're pulling out against us today. Hence the reason you'll find East Indians everywhere out of nowhere. Now, where did we see the skulls around the neck before? One might ask. Where did we see that before? Well, we seen that this Wednesday when I brought out the truth about thugging. The thugs who would sacrifice their life for the queen goddess. Right? It tell you that they were what? Let me get it here. Let me get it here. One moment. Stick with me. Hit the like button, folks. I'm going to show you. I'm bringing it all together for you. That it says they usually murder their victims by strangling using a handkerchief as a tool. The Thuggee was believed to practice killings as a form of worship to the goddess Kali. The goddess Khalees, where they would do anything to destroy the man. It was about the total destruction of the man. An ideology that would lead to exalting women to destroy men. Do y'all see this? Showing the alter ego or the mirror of Kamala, which is the opposite of Kamala, which was really put in to destroy our people, the men in particular. All right? Now, I'm going to show you where we're going here. I'm going to show you where we're going. We're going back to the Bible in a moment, but I need to show y'all this. Why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they have an East Indian who under ancient religious and or rites, why at the very end do they have her here in position to be utilized politically over our people? Now we know that she's just a front for the satanic establishment, but all in all, everything they do is through this symbolism. The man means nothing. The mother raised the child, and now the child becomes a deity like Nimrod / Tammuz. And they would have what? They would have a serious resentment against the image of man. Man is the enemy. Okay? Now, hold tight. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. There's an article I have, one moment. Let me get the article out of here. Had an article of a brother here. You have to use the bathroom? You good?
Yeah.
If you do, go ahead. I'm going to grab this real quick.
Yes, sir.
Let me get it here. While lawyers on break, let me show y'all this real quick. Then I'll go back into the Bible here. Let me show you this. Where is Kamala, the East Indian? Where is she from? Fair use.
We're cooking, but we have a very special guest. Very special. Senator Kamala Harris.
Hi, guys.
Wait, so here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Is it respectful to call, like, I should be calling you Senator Harris, right?
No, you should not. That's not on my birth certificate.
Okay.
Call Kamala. Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents.
Man, this is weird. Wait till I'm about to. Hey, wait till what I'm about to pull out, Uriah. You're gonna see why it's skipping around like this right now, right?
I don't watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay. I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her? She worked so hard. Okay, so what we're gonna cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
So I just wanted to point that out, brothers and sisters, because she's not just Indian. She's South Indian. And for those who don't understand the research concerning what they're politically and spiritually doing against us by setting a trench about us, you need to understand what they believe in South India when it comes to those who look like us. Right? So her mother came from South India with an ideology which was satanic. Hindu goes directly to ancient Babylon worships of the mother and child. The child was reared up for this position. And in South India, where Kamala stated she comes from, this is what they believe for people who look like us. Right? Check this out. That's rain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
Al Jazeera. Being African in India, we are seen as demons. we are seeing black people under their caste system. Listen, here's a black man. Being African in India, we are seen as demons. So how do you think she see you? I spoke Hindu and always laugh, but when I offer biscuits to the neighbor's children, they don't accept it. So he went there to try to be down and help the other people. And even the poor of India looks down on Judah. Huh? Now, there's more. New Delhi, Greater Noida, India. After a year in India, Zarahadin Muhammad knows enough Hindu to understand what Bander means. Monkey is what he's called. But it isn't even the Delhi derogatory comments that make him doubt his decision to swap his university in Nigeria for a 2-year master's, a degree program. Now, it tells you all down here. People often look at me as if I'm different and hard to be trusted. The tall, soft-spoken student explains, I try to be friendly, I speak Hindu and always laugh. But when I offer biscuits to the neighbors, now these children are poor. They don't accept it. Okay? So, I need y'all to check this out also. I was going to bring this out mainly as white papers in the academy, but I say let me just show this real quick. Demonic possession of Catholic South India. South India is where Kamala comes from. Right? And what is there? There's a serious issue with demon possession in South India. This is the white paper. White paper I have here, so that y'all can see this. Gestor University, right? Gestor. And they have studied the demon possession over in India. And it says the key word: spiritual possession, religion, illness, sexuality, and low caste. See? And low caste. They have a caste system according to how light or dark you are. See? And see, with the illnesses, they would come with their own so-called pharmacy. This is why you're going to find them popping up all in the hospitals and the pharmacies where we live with this resentment against us, only to actually destroy what's left of our people in these communities. The aim of this article is to understand demonic possession as a system of collective representation, a set of thoughts and beliefs which are held in common by inhabitants of South Indian village. One of the striking features of the village is that a main community at the Catholic Pariyar, Catholics share most of their values with the majority of the South Indian population, and this is particularly in case with both of the etiology of fiction and corollary beliefs in evil spirits, which will engage our attention to the following pages. Listen to this. Occasional references to between the Catholics of Vagara, Manikim, and the Hindu neighbors. Besides, most pilgrims to the shrine of the Virgin Mary are who? Are Hindus. But it's not the Virgin Mary at all. It's not the Virgin Mary at all, folks. It's Kelly. It's not the Virgin Mary at all. It goes back to what I showed. I'm going to bring that in a moment. It's really this, the Virgin Mother without father is really anti-man. Now, I can't go full into the white paper. I'll deal with that while in the academy when we bring out the Mother Goddess and all these other things. But I'll say this. I'll say this when it comes to this particular ideology. It's anti-Bible, anti-God, anti-man. And they chose her from the most racist area of India. And she was raised to resent our people. Now being represented before us as a black woman. As a black woman. Hold tight now, because I got something else here. I have something else before going back into the Bible. The witchcraft. Because when you see the Statue of Liberty, it's the same goddess. It's the same goddess that was a gift to the United States by France. So a lot of people are looking at this Last Supper in France and all this with the transsexuals and all that. Well, these were the same people who gave you her. The Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty. And some claim that what? That the original Statue of Liberty was what? The body of a woman with the face of a man. Right? The Statue of Liberty. So with this image, mother, child, comes sorcery, but they cannot execute their full power of demon possession that they bring back from South India. They cannot execute, listen to this, they cannot execute the craft that comes from their ancient land without our people or the people they're focusing on. Those people must be under some level of influence. And that's why the demon possession, when I pulled up the white paper, it talks about they call it the hookah. The pipes people smoke, the drugs you take. And out of all of the positions they're given in the United States, in our community, they're given drugs and alcohol as a form of entry to destroy our people. These are warlocks, these are witches, using alcohol, hookah, marijuana, and drugs to gain entry. And by doing so, eventually, our people go mad, demon possession. Now they're all on the streets talking to themselves, losing their minds, while their people are coming over in droves to replace the people they have drugged and have destroyed because they have serious resentment in their homeland against our people, folks. And folks, this is what spiritual warfare looks like. But we're now exposing it. Listen to me clearly. It's being exposed. It's what she symbolizes. This is why they selected her. It's what she believed in. The resentment her people back home has against us is what? Is the key secret weapon to finish what Barack Obama couldn't. So when it comes to the hookah, you notice out of nowhere, drug dispensaries everywhere. Marijuana dispensaries everywhere. You notice that, right? Because what? The priests and priestesses over the people need a gateway of control. Once you do the drugs and the hookah, you open up that gateway in which they can actually control you through witchcraft, through spells. So the takeover happens on the surface first by introducing drugs and alcohol and all these things to the children as a form of control, as a way of waging spiritual warfare that will eventually replace the people they're targeting. They've done this in England, they have done it in Jamaica, and now they're doing it here. Kamala is not like us. Neither was Barack Obama. It was the mother-child symbolism they used as Messiah, the worship of gods and goddesses, to circumvent, to destroy us like they tried to do at the ancient Tower of Babel. Huh? So let's talk now. Elder Lawyer, let's get Isaiah real quick. Now it says, many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. Now, they'll come over here in the United States like they got it going on. And when you go into their countries, there's a bunch of dirt floors and all this other stuff. But yet, because of our hue, they still believe that they have the moral high ground to look down on us. Okay? They come over to where we live with a sense of entitlement and pride as if they're better than us. When if you go over there, it looks like crap where they came up at, but they'll come over here and be revered as gods and goddesses. Why? Because our people are easily deceived. And we always seek something outside of ourselves to be saved, outside of our God and our Christ. With this Messiah complex, we seek to find someone when Christ is within us. And we must band together to oppose them. Right? We must oppose it with everything in us. Elder Lawyer, if you will, real quick. All right? So in that white paper of demon possession, it goes into the gateway of why there's so much demon possession over in South India. The hookah, the marijuana, the poppy, the drugs. So these people have perfected utilizing these spirits as a form of control over others in a caste system. Not just a physical caste system of black leading all the way up to light, but a spiritual caste system. Because the ignorant and poor are the more susceptible for control. So since they have perfected that model in India, they brought that crap over to where our people live to finish us off. The systems that they're doing in America right now is the caste systems of control they always utilize in South India. The universities have studied this. But guess what? No one reading the Bible have actually put it together. That's why I wanted to show you the levels of warfare they wage against us. I used to wonder, how is it that these people, it seems like there's an agreement with the government where these people come over here and they get the liquor stores. They get the hookah shops. They get all these little things, and we are the majority consumers of it. You would think that even though we shouldn't deal with it at all, you would think that if we were the majority consumers, that one of our people would benefit from it. You would think that if we were the people who's paying money towards it and making these people rich, that at least it should be one of us actually benefiting. As if there's some secret agreement. There is a secret agreement, folks, of what they give, what they get in the United States if they're willing to come against us. That's what a trench looks like. Financial deprivation. Not only financial deprivation, on top of financial deprivation, destroying the minds of the people that leads to demon possession concerning the spirits they bring over here when they set up their temples over here. Then they open up their stores as merchants as a gateway to actually have the demons, the ancient demons they brought over from Babylon, to bring into our communities to actually destroy our people. They're not allowed to do this wholesale in the suburbs and put a liquor store on every corner. They can't do that in the suburbs. So we're going to talk real quick. But before I say anything, let me bring up this guy real quick. Many come in my name saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Check this guy out and listen to this. Another demon from South India. Check him out.
Namaste, my name is Dio and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share some knowledge about the magic in our hair. Okay?
He's going to share some magic. He's going to share some knowledge about the magic in their hair.
And how this knowledge about our hair was used by our ancestors, and they were inspired by our gods. Okay, so
the power in our hair was inspired through his ancestors. See? His ancestors in what?
This knowledge about our hair was used by our ancestors, and they were inspired by our gods.
And was inspired by the East Indian gods. Magic. See, Esau know that he cannot do the ancient Babylonian magic better than Babylonians. So why don't he just let Babylonians into the community and claim that they're black and brown, knowing that these people don't identify as black. A matter of fact, Kamala Harris' mother, on her paperwork, she identifies as a Caucasian woman. Because in the caste system, she's considered white in India. So do y'all know when they come over here, they don't claim black and brown. They claim Caucasian on their birth certificate, or on their paperwork. Did y'all know that? Fair use. Look at this demon.
Okay, so 3 examples that I'm going to use are Shiva.
Shiva. Magic through the hair. Shiva.
Jesus and
now, hold up. Don't try to put Christ in this. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Are Shiva, Jesus, and Buddha. Okay.
Shiva, Jesus, and Buddha. So we know it's not talking about our Christ. It's talking about what? It's talking about the European child, virgin child. That's why he says Jesus. But don't try to put Christ in this. Many shall come in my name saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And these demons don't even believe in Christ. But they'll use it as a gateway, an entry to do what? To tickle the imaginations of the simple of our people who claim to believe in Christ. You said Jesus? Well, I need to hear this. I never heard this angle. And next thing you know, you're sitting next to a what? A demon. A deceiver. And folks, no one have called these people out. Why y'all all up in our space?
Shiva is busy in the mountains sprinkling snow in the Himalayas, so he couldn't be here. Jesus came right till here, saw rain, there's a lot of water outside. He, being Jesus, walked on the water, he's gone for a long walk. So the only person kind enough to be here is Mr. Buddha. Okay.
He walked on water so he could be considered a Buddha. Our Bible have nothing to do with Christ being a Buddha. So to let you know, if you do something beyond what? Beyond the laws of nature, these pagans, these satanic pagans, will look at you as a god. They'll see a rock shining and be like, hey, there go Buddha. Out of their minds. But this guy in particular is talking about the control or the magic that comes with hair.
Just his head over here now, but that's the most important part. Now we've all seen Buddha's this statue, right? Almost every statue of Buddha has Buddha's hair tied up like this. You've got these circular things all around him. So I'm going to tell you why this hair tied up like this and what are these small things around it. Okay, so before all of this, it's important to know the knowledge behind hair. The minute you say hair, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is fashion, okay, or vanity. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, just forget about the fashion part of it and let's see it as how a creator basically intended our hair to be, the reason behind them. Okay, so the main reason behind this hair is that they act like an antenna. Okay, or you can...
Now listen, he's dropping it. The hair is an antenna under South Indian magic. They're telling you what's going on. You're connecting to something. You put an antenna on a television to get reception, to get a clear channel. So what happens on your head or in your hair dictates what signal you are receiving according to their satanic beliefs. Hope y'all listening to me. They've waged warfare on every level against us, including through the fashion world. This is why they're here, folks. Other than that, as far as when it comes to what's essential, they're useless to us. We don't need these people. Why are they pressing all up in our mix? We don't need these people. But why are they everywhere? Why do they strategically put them as a trench amongst us? It's their magic, folks. Their deceptive magic. He says it's like an antenna, and I'm not saying this. He's telling y'all now, anyone who decides to fall under their craft, ancient craft, that's on you. You wonder why so many of our people are being diagnosed with bipolar, mental issues, and all these others, folks. They've been put over pharmacy, drugs, whether or not there's legal or illegal, and they've been placed over high magic to be utilized as a form of warfare against the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in particular. Oh yeah, Elder Lloyd, you probably didn't know this because this got under my skin. I forgot to say this last night. Mm-hmm. An East Indian goes into a bodega. It might have been. It was. We know they were immigrants. I think it was an East Indian, and it was also someone from Venezuela. They go into a bodega, buy some food at the bodega in New York. A sister lost her mind with this. Mistakenly leaves the receipt behind after buying some food. Now, when you do EBT, which is public assistance, I know they're going to be mad that this came out. When you do EBT, it always shows a balance of what's left, whether or not it be food and or cash. So even though it shows the receipt of what was purchased, it also shows what's left. Do you see that? You seen it already? You heard the sister go off about that?
No, I get what you're saying.
Guess what was left after the first of the month? Because it was just the first the other day. On the receipt from the bodega. In food stamps, over $14,000. What was left in cash? It was a little less. You can tell they only made one purchase, a little less than 5,000 American dollars was left for cash. Right? So you had about 15,000 in food stamps and $5,000 in money for one migrant or illegal. Now think about the hundreds of thousands that are in New York alone, and we're talking about one person is getting 20,000 in money and food stamps placed on their books every month while our people are homeless, getting thrown out. And you can't do nothing for our people? I'm not doing specifically for black people, no. This is what warfare looks like, folks. This is why they're here. They're being incentivized to squeeze us out. And not only that, put pressure on all the programs our people fought for, to bankrupt them. To bankrupt the system and say, well, we don't got nothing to give you. To lead the whole world into a socialist government. But they must do what? They must bankrupt the money of Social Security and everything first, so that now they can have an excuse to why they can't do anything for the children of Judah. That's one person. $20,000 a month they're getting on their card, while they telling our people, nah, we have nothing for you. Think about this. You want to know what warfare is? A trench is? Well, you finance one side against the other. You starve the one side out. 70 AD again, but guess what? It's with what? An invisible trench. It's an invisible trench. Right? Now, let's go back to this Satanist.
The fashion part of it, and let's see it as how our creator basically intended our hair to be.
He says how the creator intended hair to be, right? Here's another source of entry that's utilized through these Indians as a form of control. Right? Let's play it for a little bit. I'll be right back in a little.
Behind them. Okay, so the main reason behind this hair is that they act like an antenna. Okay, or you can call them antennas. Okay, our hair, okay, each strand is an antenna that connects us to the spirit world, where we come from. Okay, now let's say a technology like a television or a radio set, okay, is there without an antenna. What good is it? Nothing. You can't do anything with it. It's not going to catch a reception from where it's supposed to, from a satellite. So it's the same thing with us. Okay, so if we are here, the highest form of technology, okay, and our antennas are not there. We keep chopping our antennas off. Okay, our antennas are not there. There's no good. We can't be connected to the spirit world then. Okay, so for some people who are, say, naturally balding and don't have their hair, okay, these are the guys who need to work a little more harder in their meditation, in their practices, to connect with the spirit world.
You see what their top witches and warlocks are telling you, right? That they know that there's a spiritual connection between the hair and the connection with God. See, they understand this. Even the Bible tell you that what? That we're the temple of the Most High. And we that defile the temple shall be destroyed. Well, the temple, the spirit is here between the brain. Right here in the brain is where our spirit is. So they found a way to disconnect people from the spirit through their magic. What magic? Fair use, educational, and religious reasons. Chris Rock went over there.
Gold equal the hair. Gold you want 100 kilo.
Here it is.
Interesting movie. My superstar is very big. Okay.
So
somebody is cutting hair.
So you go see I Am Legend, and when you leave, you go I Am Bald.
Gold equal the hair. Gold you want 100 kilo. Every jewelers is very easy buy. Very, very easy. Hair is not easy. You buy the 5 kilo, not possible.
Hair is worth more than gold.
Yes, yes.
And women are being scalped
Yes.
to get this.
In India, hair is worth more than gold. So they're going to sacrifice their daughter's hair. Because why? Control is worth more than gold. Control is worth more than gold.
Minimum 10 inch to 40.
10 inches and better.
Yes.
It's like porno.
Tell me.
I've learned that this good hair came from a religious ceremony called Tantra. And that's
A religious ceremony called Kancha.
what I needed to see. The Tantra ceremony. If my daughters were going to eventually wear this hair, I needed to see what kind of person's head it had been on first.
If my daughters was going to wear this hair, I needed to see the people whose head it's been on first. He traveled to India, folks. Top magic. You want to see why our communities are utterly destroyed? How we become eviscerated through top magic? It's no coincidence. Fair use, educational reasons only.
Why do you taunt your hair?
Because when I get to fulfill my desire, I promised him I'll give my hand.
You ever think about your hair?
Well, let's get it again. She gave her hair away to get the desires. It says here.
Because when I get to fulfill my desire, I promised him I'll give my hand.
You ever?
So, to get her wishes fulfilled, she promised to give up her hair. So these poor people over in India has hopes for prosperity if they were to shave their hair first and give it to the gods. So a lot of these people that are being let over here to get their chance at the American dream, well, a lot of them sacrifice their hair to help destroy our communities as a form of spiritual control. The prosperity is to replace our people. Right? Now think about it. She made a wish, and now America have fulfilled that wish. You do your magic over there, give us your hair to destroy the people over here, and we'll replace you with the prosperity their people work for. Okay? The other races aren't going to give you nothing, but we're going to give you what God's people worked for.
About your hair?
No, I don't think. After giving, I promised him I'll give, I have given. I don't think so.
Thinking about seeing it again on somebody else?
No. He likes the hair too much.
God likes hair.
Yeah.
And she said, God likes hair. Now, she's going to grow her hair back with no problem, but she'll come over here to reap the benefits for sacrificing her hair. Because through the hair, it's an antenna. So now the antenna is not to God. The antenna is to the gods and goddesses they worship. And these gods and goddesses hate our people. Okay? They are against the rise of Israel because eventually our God judges the gods and goddesses they serve. Are you getting it now?
Tantra. That's the word we keep hearing, Tantra. 85% of India's population have had their hair shaved at least twice in a lifetime in a religious ceremony known as Tantra. In India, hair is considered a vanity, and removing hair is considered an act of self-sacrifice.
Look at it, folks. Fair use. Hair is worth more than gold. A whole families, children, everyone there. Then they're bringing their hair to our people. To our people. It's an antenna. They told you. But it's an antenna to hell. And they said the hair is vanity. So it's whoever put on the hair, they change. They become vain. See? They put on an alter ego of what the East Indians were trying to shed away. The negative, the vanity. This is how, instead of them being baptized, this is how they shed the darkness from themselves. As a new start under Hindus, under the Hindu religion. They don't baptize. They shave their hair because all of the dark and evil and wickedness that's in them, and they sell their hair to us. And you wonder why there's so many mental illnesses going on in our community. That's spiritual warfare. You look at the baby getting tortured up in it. These people, you listen. They take their religion seriously, folks. Baby sitting there screaming. Chris Rock looking at it. What is going on over here? But you know what? It's worth it for them. Living dirt poor with an opportunity to take our people down if the opportunity presented itself. And it can present itself if they open the borders and Kamala becomes the czar over the borders as an entry to allow her people in to replace the people who've been targeted by the Babylonians.
By the end of the night, these pretty young girls will be bald-headed. And in a few weeks, their hair will be on the heads of doctors, lawyers, and even strippers swinging off of poles. These people have no idea where their hair is going or how much it's worth. The money made at this temple is second only to the Vatican. The hair collected here is auctioned off to...
The money made there is only second to the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church. They make more money compared to any other institution on earth outside of the Roman Vatican. Uniting that original spirit that was from the beginning under Nimrod and Semiramis to kill the children of Abraham, Isaac, and or Jacob. Huh?
Off to exporters who distribute it around the planet. But its chief destination is the weave capital of the world, Los Angeles.
See that? This is why I'm exposing the secret racial war of Babylon. Y'all wonder how these people are now gaining traction, preeminence, power, finances, and status over us? Folks, they've been patient. We've been infiltrated through every level of war you can imagine. Okay? Under a caste system set up by Satan himself. Elder Lawyer, if you will. Let's go to that woman who sits on many waters. Right? Now, let's go to the one in Isaiah, the sorcery. Isaiah 47. Right?
Isaiah 47, verse 1.
Isaiah 47, verse 1. Hold on. Isaiah 47, verse 1. Okay, 1 second. And what are we discussing here? The spirit of Babylon. Folks, it was a line in all of the races and the Gentile nations who have always destroyed our people and given them the power over us at the very last. For those who missed it, using the evil symbolism of the Madonna and child. This has nothing to do with Mary and Christ. This is Tammuz, who is Nimrod incarnate, the virgin child of Semiramis, the fallen goddess. And I'm going to expose Semiramis week 2 in this academy. Guess what, folks? Nimrod was from Cush. Semiramis was from somewhere else. And we're going to prove it. With the same mother and child complex that leads to the religion that rivals the original core belief of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Christ, the Israelites. Here's the symbol out front that's anti-Christ, anti-God, anti-Bible, anti-man. Hence the reason that they have targeted our community to highlight this symbolism of empowerment. It comes from Semiramis, waging warfare against the children of God. Same thing here. The Madonna with child, ambiguity. We don't know where you were born. We don't know where you come from. Questions on who actually taught you. The Messiah being raised to do what? To deceive our people under the same satanic ideology of the Catholic Church. A false Messiah. But this Messiah wouldn't be for us. This Messiah with a halo over his head would be for them. See? And then what they'll do? They'll stand 10 toes down and do the same thing over again with a mother and child from South India, with the Babylonian concept that have always destroyed our people, who's a Hindu from South India, which is really a part of Babylon, the ancient Babylon, and try to do what? And try to mask herself and hide herself as a daughter of Judah. But really have an ideology with a caste system which is against our people. And through this caste system, people would fall under the demon. What demon? The demon of Kamala and Baravi. And what they would focus on more so is having this spirit as an entry into the female to topple the whole family. It's a female initiative to use her to control and or destroy the man. And that's the spirit they brought over with them. Around the neck is a necklace full of skulls. What skulls? The skulls of men. The skulls of men. Right? Then he talks about the hair. How do we give entry? We'll give the women our hair so that now, instead of them connecting to their God, we'll become their antenna. And we'll control them through vanity, drugs, and everything else, and destroy their communities before replacing them. Are you following me here? And what is the alter ego or the opposite of the Mara Kamala? Kelly. The man-hating goddess. And eventually the demon will come out in those who allow her in. And eventually they'll be walking around. You'll know if they got the spirit of Kelly because they'll begin to look like her. Okay? This is the demon they brought over from India, folks. And eventually, let me show you. Eventually, you'll begin to look like her. Look at her hair. Look at her arms. Look at her face. Look at her lashes. That's when the demon overtakes the person who have allowed her entry. No longer do you see yourself as beautiful as the Most High made you. You don't feel right unless you walk outside looking like the demon that they have brought from West Hell, from South India. It's all demonic, folks. It's all magic. Let's end it out, and I'm going to do something I've never done before today, Elder Lawyer. In a long time, I haven't done this, right? Because I want to hear what the people have to say real quick. I'm going to take 5 minutes of phone calls because you're leading into the academy. If you don't mind, Elder, let's stay an extra 5 minutes if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. All right? And where we're going, we're going to show you the Statue of Liberty here. Huh? It's coming around full circle. Right now, we're in France. The opening ceremony was, as they claimed, drag queens with the Last Supper. Well, guess what? They sent something that was in question years ago to America as a gift. A woman standing in the perch or the harbor of New York, holding a torch saying, "Bring me the rest of your Babylonians here to make a trench to destroy God's people." Come on in. Come on in, Italians. Come on in, Jewish people from other areas. We're going to incentivize you against the blacks who were set free. And we'll give you all the labor unions and the labor jobs, knowing that the black people who built America are the only laborers here. We're going to finance you. In the industrial age, this is what they did. During the Reformation age, they brought in other people to slight us. And that wasn't enough. Every time we come to a point where we're standing against injustice and standing together on code, they'll say, well, okay, the people are waking up. Let's do a war. Civil rights, we were getting all the attention during civil rights throughout the whole world. Sympathy and everything else. No one was talking about the Holocaust during the civil rights movement. See? No one was talking about a fight in Germany against Europeans. So what did they do? Vietnam War. Every time our people get on code, war. They instituted a draft, locked up Muhammad Ali, and had all of our strong warriors go over to fight our own people. A lot of the Vietnamese are our people who were scattered in different parts of Asia. Only to have our warrior class come back strung out on heroin. Okay? And because it was an unjust war, okay, wasn't welcome as heroes, died with mental issues. Every time we come together, this is what they do. And now, we're on code now. We're saying, nah, you're not going to Obama us again with your false messiah. We're not accepting the people you've selected that has resentment against our people to come over to control us. Trying to cosplay as a black woman when our sisters are suffering. When you would have one of your people come over and get $20,000 a month and our sisters don't have anything? No. Now we on code again because the Most High is the antenna that has awakened the children of Israel. He's the antenna through the Holy Spirit. That's what's going on. And because of this, you know what they're about to do? War. The only thing they can do to counterbalance the awakening right now, to actually get a go at our people while we're at our weakest, is to declare war again. So that's what no one is talking about. They want people talking about Kamala and everything else, but who's running the White House right now, and what's really happening with the war leading up to Iran? That's what you should be looking at. Because every time we come on code and figure them out, because we're going to resist them, folks. They know we're going to resist them. This is why the first thing the Biden administration did when he was voted in was to give an anti-hate law for Asians. Because they knew, based on the destruction they would do against us, that our people would begin to fight back against the trenches that have been made around us. This is why they gave them a hate crime first, knowing that eventually when we wake up, we're going to fight for in the spirit of self-preservation. Huh? Show this video to everyone you know. And folks, it doesn't end now, because tomorrow in the news tomorrow, folks, I'm going to tell you, it's uncensored. Guess what? I don't have to watch exactly every word come out of my mouth in the academy. Sometimes it's guarded, respecting the guidelines here, folks. In respect of the guidelines. But guess what? Tomorrow, because usually what I do, I stop at the lesson and we pick it right back up the next day. Okay? Elder Lawyer, if you will. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Isaiah 47:1, and I'll open up some of the calls, 515-605-9327 in a couple of minutes, right?
Yes, sir. Isaiah 47 verse 1.
Isaiah 47 verse 1. What are we breaking down? The evil we see right here. Because this is the same woman that was worshipped in ancient Babylon, an idol in New York Harbor. Same woman. She's worshipped by the Hindus. She's worshipped by the Catholics. She's worshipped by the Muslims. And all of that was spiritual warfare against God's people. That's what a religious trench to deceive our people looks like. Isaiah 47:1, read it.
Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Come on.
Sit on the ground. There is no throne.
There is no throne.
O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
She shall no longer be called what? Tender and delicate. Okay? She comes off as innocent, pure. See? That's how they try to present her, as innocent, pure. But behind her is an ideology that destroys God's people or those who believe in her. And what they'll do, they'll keep the same game going on with mother and child, innocent, playing on the sensitivities and the emotions of our people, only to have us receive death and destruction, anti-family ideology. And they'll play the same thing over and over again because what? It works. Our people haven't woken up yet and realized that the whole earth, the Gentiles under these religions, all of them are enemies of our God. And by default, even though we've done nothing to these people, we're enemies in their eyes. We're enemies in their eyes. And they're waging political war against us. Religious war against us. And that's why the Bible says, come sit down. Read it again, Elder Lawyer.
Come sit down and sit, or come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Our God is saying, you know what? You're not going to be standing there for long. There's a judgment. It's a shame because our people don't mess with nobody. We do more harm to ourselves than anyone else, but yet they still come in to harm us. They still find new ways to false diagnose us and have us go into their offices and secretly put our people down and destroy our sons and daughters. And they continue to get this ideology of separate family, trying to program with us with that, when all of these other races keep their families intact compared to us. I need y'all to think about this, folks. We don't bother nobody. We do more harm to ourselves than other people, but they still come over to mess with our people and to harm us or to keep us continually, what? Unstable. They're here to destabilize us. So the Bible says, listen, you're not going to be up on that high horse, that high tower forever. Come down and sit in the dust, old virgin daughter.
Of Babylon.
Of Babylon.
Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Come on.
For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Read.
Take the millstones and grind mill. Uncover thy locks.
Uncover your locks.
Make bare thy leg.
Make bare the legs.
Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers.
Pass over the rivers. That's right. You're coming down off of that harbor. Because this symbol has been a symbol of destruction and or warfare against God's people. Within the Christian religion, it has been destructive. The ideology and policy that comes with it have been destructive, and our God from heaven, through Christ, have a problem with this. You trying to make it seem like it's a land of opportunity that you offer to other nations, but really it's social warfare against the children of Judah. It's opportunity at the expense of our people's lives. And these people don't care about us. They already have a negative view on us. And they already have a hateful caste system that's embedded within their religion, within their institution, to actually to look down upon a black person. It's just a way of life from where they come from. And now you're gonna try to parade one of your people before us as a leader. We see you. Above all, our God see you. And you're going to lose. And this is not, let me make it clear, this is not an endorsement for Trump, okay? A wing cannot fly without, a bird cannot fly without two wings, all right? But I'm letting you know the symbolism of what they're doing with this woman that no one ever wanted. That no one voted for. The third verse.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Come on.
As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name.
The Lord of hosts is his name. That's YASHAYA. He's our Redeemer.
The Holy One of Israel.
Come on.
Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans were what? The wise men of the ancient Mesopotamian area. They're high priests, like your imams, like your rabbis today, like your priests in the Catholic Church. The Bible says you're going to be silent. No longer will your dark influence have power over us. Through Christ, we have broken free from your magic. We don't trust you. We should have never trusted you. Read.
For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms.
Thou shalt no more be called the ladies of kingdoms. And folks, they would rather dismantle and destroy the glory of America than to give God's people anything. That's what you're seeing. God's people have awakened. We've caught, at least we have actually made traction. We've actually caught up, especially the men, economically. I said it earlier. They resent the fact that here it is, they had a 300-year head start, and the median income between a black man and a white man is only $10,000. Huh? So now they've brought in reinforcements. They've set up drug dispensaries and all that so that these witches and warlocks coming over here can now gain power of control through these demons to destroy our people. And then before that, they let the hair loose on the people in all these different shops for our women, knowing that our women are what? They're the nurturers. They're the first teachers of our children. So they needed to redirect that energy from under the guidance of God and a man to the pits of hell with Shiva and all these other demonic forces with Kelly at the helm. And the Bible is exposing it all. It's witchcraft. 6.
I was wroth with my people.
He says, I was mad at my people.
I polluted mine inheritance.
I allowed you to do this because my people sinned. Read.
And given them into thine hand.
I gave them over to you, is what he's telling the nations. Babylon. Read.
Thou didst show them no mercy.
But instead of caring for us like God's people, we were already broken. We lost everything. You know we're God's people. And you showed us no mercy. You're seizing an opportunity to destroy us when that's not why God placed us into your hands. See? It was chastisement, not for you to utterly destroy our families. Read.
Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Come on.
As thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever.
And she thinks she will be a lady forever. Read.
So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it.
Read.
Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
And that's what they're saying. They're God. That it's all about them. That you believe that the God of Israel has totally forsaken his people. But no. He has awakened his people through the Spirit of Christ. And what we're speaking about and what we're talking about out of this Bible, folks, they're in fear of what's coming out of this Bible. The enemy who's attacking us, they're in fear because they know if enough of our people come to this knowledge that we have enough power from on high to oppose them. See, they understand this. And she says, I shall what?
I shall not sit as a widow.
Read.
Neither shall I know the loss of children.
They think they're going to go on forever while slighting, disrespecting, and also harming the children of God. 9.
But these two things shall come to thee in a moment and one day.
The Most High says one day, and one day all these are going to come to you. What?
The loss of children.
The loss of children.
And widowhood.
And widowhood. The loss of men. Your men will fall in war, according to our God. A lot of women will be left with no protector. Widowhood. Read.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries.
Why?
For the multitude of thy sorceries.
Babylon has always been known since its inception for witchcraft. That's their power. They cannot oppose us physically. They cannot outsmart us. They don't have high intelligence like they would have you make you believe. Their power, when it comes to the East Indians and others, is in deception. sorcery, going into the pharmacy, medical realm. Because they're cowards, this is how they attack us under the guise of helping us. Sorcery. They go into pharmakeia. Pharmakeia is pharmacy. Pharmacy in the Greek is sorcery. So they go into these areas, misdiagnose us, and have us come up with all these mental illnesses, physical ailments, and all of that because they're cowards. And they don't care about men, women, or children. Look what they do with their own children over there in India. And it says, and the great abundance of what?
Of thine enchantments.
Of thine enchantments. What they do with the hair is a craft. What they do through the drugs and hookah is a craft. In a nutshell, it's power through invocation. Once people introduce themselves to these particular gateways, these priests over their mosques and over their temples now have preeminence over those who are partaking. Now they have spiritual control and now have entry to destroy you. And after destroying you, they'll replace you with their people. 10.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
They have trusted in their wickedness.
Thou hast said, none seeth me.
And they think no one can see them. We can see you now. We can see you now. We're not going to be fooled by this black, brown garbage either. We're the children of Israel. Who are you? Read.
Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Come on.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth.
You're not going to know where it comes from. The heavens will fight for us. But it still comes down to whether or not our people in particular will continue to be what? Influenced and or controlled by you. How many of our people are going to still follow in the ways of Babylon and trust her? And that's really the problem. That's really the problem. I see our people today. After this clown show we've gone through for 4 years, people still standing up talking about, even black sisters talking about Kamala. She don't like you. She don't care about you. Where she come from, she resent you. What she symbolizes is the fall of the black woman altogether. That's what she symbolizes. Because out of all the people who were born here, who served chattel slavery and was raped and robbed and destroyed by slave masters, they didn't feel anything about one of you to be chosen. Out of 40, quote unquote, black women who were actually in the pool to be vice president, according to Biden himself. He was looking at 40 different candidates to become vice president. And he didn't have enough respect for the black women who bled on this soil to choose one of us, one of our sisters. That's how much resentment they have for you. And the Most High would have it that way to prove to you they never cared about you. Okay? And they still don't. Read.
11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
Read.
Stand now with thine enchantments.
So the Most High say, go ahead, India. Go ahead, America. Stay with your witchcraft. Because the spell has been broken off those who truly receive the gospel of Christ, the knowledge of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of the patriarchs, those who cleave to the true value of this book called the Bible, our history book, our prophetic book. Our past, present, and future is contained in it, including the fall of those who have always opposed our people. Stand now with your enchantments,
and with the multitude of thy sorceries,
and your witchcraft,
wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
Since the inception of your countries, you've used the craft. And how do you use the craft? You use drugs as the gateway, as a form of control over the masses. So we must break free from their drugs. All of them, we must break free from it. If so
be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail.
The most I say, stick with it now. You can stick with it. And let's see who wins in the end. That's what our God says. Stick with it. It works when you can deceive the ignorant, who don't know no history, who don't see you coming. It only works for the ignorant. It doesn't work for those who see you. Read.
13. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Let's see if they save you from these things which shall come upon thee. And guess what? These are some of the most superstitious, wicked sorcerers and witches on earth when you see them. They always had these little things on their arms and all this, right? They had these little beads for good luck and all this. I was speaking to one guy not too long ago. He, of course, pumping gas, and he talking about Kamala, East Indian. And I say, sir, me being a black American, can I go into India and become president of India? I asked him this. You say, like, they're like, who is this guy? I'm like, I'm just asking you. Me being a black man from America, can I go to India and become president of India? Of any country in India? Well, no. I'm like, you don't see nothing wrong with that? This is opportunity. I'm like, no, opportunity? How is opportunity only one way? Can I come into India and act like I was born in India and become president to shape legislation for your people in India? You go on. I'm saying, y'all talking about Kamala. I got a question out there for you, because we don't accept this. I don't accept this political system altogether. But no, it's straight witchcraft to have us receive something and have us accept something when it comes to other people, when they would never accept us where they come from. That's witchcraft. That's a craft. Something must be wrong with your mind, that you have to accept a person who's against you. The only thing they had to do was get on a plane and leapfrog you, who have suffered in the same country for generations. That's witchcraft. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now your astrologers, go ahead.
The stargazers.
The monthly prognosticators.
Yes, sir. Stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Let's see if Shiva, Buddha, and even the goddess Kamala you worship, because that's another goddess, folks, that leans back to Semiramis. And we're going to break down the origin of the Queen Mother, week 2 in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. A straight destructive, vindictive, evil, wicked goddess. Of course, you would know that because they present her like this. Man, I can't wait till tomorrow. Brand new studio in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Lord. Week 1, from beginning to the end, historytimes.org. Help us, support us. We are in a spiritual war, but with your help, we win. All right? Now, I'll open up the lines first, and I want to know y'all whether or not y'all getting that academy now. We're going to open up the lines real quick. 5 minutes, Q&As, or if you have anything to say on the lesson we've done today, right? Blog Talk Radio. I'll put the number up in one moment. Okay, the enrollments are open for the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. We have brand new lessons. I hope to see you all there. What? That's right, that's it. Oh, what's going on here? That's it, right?
That's it. How many C's you got in there?
GOCC Church. Right?
Okay.
That's it, right?
I believe so.
AHAYAH is one in all caps.
Let me try 1C.
1 second. No, it's not that. I know that for sure. Unless the account is no longer up.
Just use the Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I just used it Wednesday. 1 second, folks. Let me see if this is working. 1 second. Blog Talk. Hey, who knows whether or not they canceled the account after that broadcast Wednesday. I wouldn't be surprised if the account is canceled. You see? 1 second, folks. Blog Talk. All right, log in. That's it. Right? Password. Interesting. All right. Well, I got to go another way here. Let's go to Zoom and I'll see if they canceled our Blog Talk. Hey. That's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, though. I wouldn't be surprised. Right? It's all good. After that broadcast last week, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. That's correct. I'll set up another one. All right, in the meantime, let's go to Zoom. I'll do a Zoom. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see. I'll do it for 5 minutes for those who would like to come in. All right. Check 1 2. All right. All right, let's go. Check 1 2. All right, got that. Speaker. All right, we good. All right. Let's go here. If you would like to come in, I'll put the link in the chat, and we'll only be up for 5 minutes. I'm already behind the time, but I'm doing a special Zoom strictly because we're tomorrow leading into the academy. So I'll take 5 minutes of Q&A for those who would like to be a part of it. Very interesting. Hey, man, I think that I think we may have struck a nerve on Blog Talk, huh? May have to set up another one. All right. The Zoom, brothers and sisters, is in the chat there. I'll put it up again. For those who would like to come in real quick, I'll take a few, as many as I can. Leading into the academy, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those. Hopefully, Zoom works, but we'll see. AHAYAH, make sure that you hit, brothers and sisters, the audio device. Make sure when it asks, would you like to use the audio device? As you come into Zoom, hit yes for this device. Who is this? Mikeland Moore? Meekland Moore or Mikeland Moore? How you doing, Miss Moore?
Hello, Elder. Hello, Elder Ricard, Elder Lawyer. I am very grateful to be on today, and I just want to say that this was powerful. This was dynamic.
Hold on. Something's going on with my screen.
Yeah, you're on the green screen, Elder.
I didn't do that. Hold on. Lomix. That's weird. I didn't do that. That's weird. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this. The Bible. 1 second, okay?
Yes, sir, Elder.
That's kind of weird. But go on. What you have to say real quick?
I just wanted to say that this message was dynamic. I was in the last Bible Academy, and you have been blowing my mind since I was introduced to the truth last year. I can't be in the Bible Academy this time as much as I want to be, but I know you're bringing the truth that we need to hear, because we have definitely been lost. Our women and now our men are putting this foreign hair into their heads. You see the videos about it all over the place. So the fact that you're bringing this to light is amazing and astounding. And I just want to wish blessings upon you, Elder Lawyer, and the rest of the elders here. I'm in the California body, the Southern California body.
Okay, I had to unplug my camera because something weird happened here. All right, we're back. All right. I've never seen that before. I mean, we're getting messed with right now. I mean, I can't even... Okay, now what you say? You're in Zoom. Talk to us.
Yes, I was just saying that I am astounded by what I'm hearing today, that it is an eye-opener. You have been opening my eyes to everything, and everything that you have said since I have been following in October of last year has come to light. I saw the video about the EBT card a couple days ago. You're talking about it today, and that was astounding to me as well, because people are really struggling here in the States, and they're giving these benefits to the people that are coming in as if it's just candy giving it to a baby. the hair factor from India is mind-blowing to me as well, because like I said before, our women have been doing this for years with the wigs and everything, and now our men are putting the fake hair in their head to assimilate locks or to assimilate braids in their hair when they don't have the length. So this is very powerful to hear, and I really wish people would tune in to get the knowledge that we need.
Hold on. Well, it's amazing to me because what we haven't looked at is the spiritual aspect of some of our choices. We believe that these little choices we're making are small and don't realize, the spiritual depths when it comes to the craft and the negative spirit that we partake, that we allow by including ourselves in their particular rituals. The reality is that ritual doesn't stop in India. When we purchase it and put it on, it's really a continuation of the spirit that came from over there. So it's like we're being initiated into their rituals unknowingly, right? And it's a hard spirit to break. And it's a hard spirit to break. And I was telling Lawyer, I'm gonna let you say, we was talking about it. It's just that because there is benefit when sisters partake in it, and we can't say nothing negative about. We can't say nothing about it, because when I say we can say something about it, but we don't realize how much it positively impacts their lives because we're not in their shoes. But they know the difference between when they put this stuff on and how they're accepted or the lack of acceptance without it. And it has nothing to do with men in particular. It opens up doors. So a sister know how she was treated without the aesthetics.
Right.
Right? And compared to when she have it on. And it has a lot to do not just whether or not people would accept them, but the confidence that they usually don't exude without it. They don't see that. It's more so the confidence they're walking in that's opening up the doors than the aesthetics. But that's part of the craft.
But that vanity, you hit it on the head. I've never heard of the book of the two Babylons.
Yeah.
But it down the way you did, Elder, the vanity is there. Our women are vain, very vain.
Well, sister, I can't even put it down on our women. I'm going to tell you, women in particular are the target. And because I'm looking at the Bollywood women from what's that place that they built over there in Dubai? In Dubai. The Bollywood women, and these women were raised in traditional countries, and they're worse than our sisters. It's just who actually accepts the spirit. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now. Now it affects our sisters more so because usually those that are on the bottom are affected negatively more so than any other ethnicity or group.
Yeah.
So it's more so being highlighted and examined as a negative more so with us because they would like to promote us as negative. But it's not just our sisters. It's this spirit, this demon, this demoness is trying to get into all women who will accept her. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. But in particular, in the interest of our own people, yes, we have to look at how it's affecting our sisters and in the interest of our people. Right?
Yes, sir. I think we should, as a whole, in our communities, we should look at that. Yes.
Yeah. And I believe that lessons like this, even if some of us cannot break it, because in the reality of some of the damage that have been done, is to a degree where some of our people, our sisters, need it because of the damage that was done. I mean, and to the head and all that, and they feel a need. They feel a need for it now. But if we could do anything to make sure that our daughters and the next generation aren't affected, if we can highlight the negatives of it and be able to secretly teach our daughters the negatives of it to break the spell, that will be a blessing in of itself. And those who can just not deal with it altogether, well, okay. But all in all, we have to make sure the children, the next generation of young men and young women, break the curse. Right?
That is correct, Elder. That's why I'm doing my best for my children to be involved and know what I'm supposed to know. And I thank you for all the work that you're doing. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, sister, and I thank you. For some reason, the double click doesn't work here, but I'm going to let it go. Well, sister, you can let yourself out, right? Thank you, and you can let yourself out. How you doing, Chris?
Shalom, Elder.
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Double honor to you, elders, and on leadership, Elder. Great lesson again. And I would like to say, because I saw a comment, elders, the men are being channeling the thug spirit more than the hair stuff. I think our men is like really been having that thug mentality since I think back when NWA and Tupac was pushing it. And Elder, I was gonna say even far as the hair, I remember was the time when the hair, the weave wasn't like non-existent. It was like some wigs going on, but it was fake. But that weave was non-existent in our community, like women swearing. It was a time when women didn't swear, didn't have foul mouth, wore dresses, and I think we got away from that because we started it started being envious and it divided the homes, and I think parents lost control of their homes, and it was like they couldn't gain it back because it takes two to raise children, to be honest, and it takes a village to raise a community, to bring up a community. So it's like hearing this, and I'm glad you bring out the video with Chris Rock, and he went over there, and they're exposing this. He's playing good cop, bad cop, but these are the things that need to be put out there for our people to realize that we have to get back to the Most High. We have to get back to His law, statutes, commandments. That's the only way that we love Him. Is to get into the world, to stay in His great His life. And under His grace is to have that with us. And also, we just have to stop envying our oppressors. Like, Elder, even to the point with the thuggy spirit. Gangs in New York really exposed that because we was never gangs. We was never gangsters. We was never that. We was the men wasn't. We was always trying to do something better to get out of poorness. So the gangs in New York, even Shame, Shame, Redemption, so that it was more of our Gentile brethren in jail than us. And then they switched and they put things in our community and broke us up. So, and we're carrying on that thug mentality, even saying gang. Everything is gang. Even in sports, college, football, they saying gang. So we have to get away from that gang and that thuggy spirit, far as men, so we can be able to lead our women and be able to, and get into this word. Because sisters, if you don't have a man that understands Christ too dark in the Most High's will, then he's not worthy of you. So, that's all I wanted to say, Elder.
Yeah, brother. Well, I'm glad you brought that out. And I would like to say this real quick. You're right. There's more than one spirit. It's the thuggy spirit. And I mentioned that many days before, because these particular spirits go hand in hand. When the East Indians came with their demons, and don't forget, a matter of fact, Russell Simmons, and of course, he's on an island somewhere fleeing extradition because they're going after all of their gatekeepers now. Russell Simmons years ago said that he sat with some sages and all of that, and it was a Jewish rabbi and other people from India. And what fascinated him was the thug statue. He went into the house and showed all these Eastern statues, and one of the statues was an all gold statue of a thug. And it was through that thug spirit that they introduced the thug life in hip hop. Hip hop used to be about consciousness, self-destruction, stopping self-destruction, speaking to the negatives, speaking against power. That's what hip hop originally was. It was more educated, a vocabulary and all of that. It was an intelligence attached to the original hip hop. Okay. Also, it was speaking about the struggles. It's like a jungle sometime. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under, right? We were talking about, we were trying to address the ills of our community, the spirits that were killing us inwardly. But here it is. Russell Simmons said he was introduced to a thug spirit, which it was all gold. I would never forget this series on, it was on BET. He had a thug statue. And we knew nothing of this. And all of a sudden, come to find out when you do the research, they were actually invoking these ancient spirits from India. These murderous, evil people called Thuggy. It was called Thuggy. And it tell you Thuggy is who? When you read this here, let me put it here real quick. It's a Thuggy from Central India. Their activities were to murder and rob. So the more they allow these people into our country, the more crime will go up. Scamming and all of that comes from these people. And they started infusing that within hip hop culture. Hip hop became the vehicle for this that would destructively program our men. But Thuggy does everything. He murder and everything to be accepted under the graces of the goddess Kali. Okay? He murder, he rob, he steal to be under the grace of Kali. And this is how a lot of these women don't understand when they think of, I don't want a nice guy. He's too nice. I want a bad boy. They don't know if they've been subconsciously programmed into what? Because a bad boy will kill, die, and everything for the goddess Kali. So women in their young age aim towards getting a bad boy, not realizing it's a demon. Even the way he dressed with his pants hanging, that comes from how these guys, the thugs, were dressed with sagging pants and all these things. That's not from our culture. These are demons that have been infused in our culture. Okay? Because even back in the 50s, in the 60s, even when it talks about the bad guys who was amongst our people, guess what? They were still distinguished. Okay? Even if they weren't operating in the church and all that, they dressed distinguished. They looked distinguished. And there was a respect. They understood that they were doing wrong, and they paid homage and obeisances to those that were trying to follow God in Christ. They would come in and they would pay their tithes, they would do whatever, but they would distinguish. Even those who didn't do right in our community had a distinguished look. Not these guys. So if our parents were distinguished and our grandparents were distinguished, where did this come from? The sagging and all that. It's a demon we allowed to come in from India. And that male spirit worships the spirit of Kali. Kali is the mother goddess, the goddess of time, and she feeds off of the blood of men. those who would do anything for her. She could care less about him. The only thing she cares about a man is what he can do for her. Men are expendable according to the spirit of Kaylee. Man, I'm dropping. Listen, I got it. This is week 2 lesson. I can't go on a week 2 lesson right now. So I'm just saying it comes at the expense. And guess what? Kelly don't even care about her own children. She hate her sons. Okay? The only thing she care about her sons, if her son can go out there and rob, steal, and kill, just like the father that's probably arrested and or dead. It's a demon. So yes, the demon doesn't stop just with the woman right here, with all the aesthetics. It starts with men who are seeking to do what? Bow, still kill for the admiration of a woman. Okay, thuggy is simp. Okay? Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom. Thuggy is simp. All right. Well, that concludes our lesson for today. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for zooming in. I'm glad this works. And I'm going to do everything to retrieve our Blog Talk account. I don't know whether or not it ran out or there's some issues with it, but I'll seek to fix it. With that, Hebrew and Bible Academy tomorrow. We'll see you there. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. begins a new installment for 3 months. I can't wait to see what Shapat have dived into for the news. But something tells me it has something to do with the war that they'll probably wage, or I wouldn't be surprised before the election they go into war with Iran. Okay, I'm keeping my eye on it, but that's because we can see the Democrats for what they are now. The only way they can stay in power is to invoke a war. That's the only way they can keep Kamala, the spiritual demoness, put her in position. Okay, who knows whether or not Biden will make it to the election and she becomes president by default. Huh? Well, that concludes our lesson for today. I love you all, brothers and sisters. Thank you for your support. You can see right here on how to support us. $GOCC 144 donate. Go to gatheringwithchrist.org if you want to know about what this church is all about. And go to historytimes.org. The administration is on standby. Let's do week 1 of the academy tomorrow. Shalom.
Shalom.
And keep in mind, we're on our way to Zion. Shalom. Thank you, other lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
And through the tribulation, I know I must stand.